Welcome, heroes. In today's video, we will be painting Scavorith, the Lord of Ruin. He is definitely one of my favorite models. He just looks so cool. Also, playing him is a blast. I played him at the World's Championship at Gen Con. He did a lot of work. He did a lot of fun. Before we get started, just want to thank you for watching these videos. That's why I make these videos. Hopefully they help you and inspire you to paint better and paint different. Just want to thank Renegade for sending me Scavorith to do this paint video for you all. I'm not sponsored by them by any means, but I do have an affiliate link, and that's down in the description if you want to use that to get yourself your own Scavorith or any of the other Heroscape coming out. It does help support the channel. Let's get into the video.
Okay, the first thing I always like to do when I start to paint a miniature is to go through and pick out all the paints ahead of time and kind of make a plan. A lot of times it changes as you do it, but this gives you a good base to start with. It makes it a lot easier to get going. First, I'm going to take Nuclear Sunrise, and we will paint up all of the plate armor on Scavorith. I did a white primer undercoat because I wanted to see the speed paints just pop a lot more, and white makes them a lot brighter. But as I did this, I started to realize that this was not going to match my other paint jobs with the lich, which I kind of wanted to match, and that doesn't look anything alike. Looks like a completely different paint. So I was like, well, how can we maybe fix this and not start all over? I thought maybe I'll put on some black, because on the lich I did a black primer and then dry brushed gray and then white. So I thought maybe we'll go in reverse. We got the white primer and then we'll put black down, and maybe that will make it look the same, and then I'll have to start all over. Well, he's all dry brushed up, is a lot darker, and we'll throw down some paint, and it looks similar, but it really doesn't give me the look I'm after, because I just want it to look very similar, like the same, when I put them down on the board, because they play really well together. So, well, I started over. There we go. Stripped the paint off, cleaned them all up, and we went black primer and a gray, then white dry brush. So now we can get started again. First, I like to take care of some of the harder to reach areas, and so we use this bony matter for all the skin spots. It looks like he's got skin anyways in these back spots, the little muscular areas. He's got a six-pack. Man, being a robot, still got a six-pack. Pretty cool. And then he got a little spots in the back and other areas. Then I grab the Nuclear Sunrise and go ahead and take care of all of the plate metal. And since this is just a lot easier to take care of all of the plate metal, because it's the majority of it, and a lot of those other areas will be using metal, the metallic metals, and those can paint over these pretty easily. So if you do make a mistake, it's not too bad to fix or clean up, but do your best to stay in the lines. I really like that color, it's good. So we go to Brazen Copper, and I wanted to just make it look a little different. I don't want everything to be silver, it's kind of boring. So I got this copper, and we did it on the bullets, we do it on all these inner areas that are not like that protruding plate metal, and then underneath his whole body, just to give a bit of contrast, have a different look. And I really like metallics because they're a little shiny, so it looks pretty cool when you're on the table. It kind of stands out a little bit more than some of the other paints. So we got Broadsword Silver. We use this for all of his legs and the little parts next to the legs. I don't know, it all looked like kind of one piece, so I thought it would look good to be all one color. And again, those metallics, they just look really good. They give a good contrast, and I like shiny things. And he's got a lot of little legs, so it takes a bit to get these all done. And I also do the little few little accents, like his shoulder, his elbows. Looking pretty good. Alright, and then I wanted to use a different color for the guns. So I grabbed the enchanted steel, and this has a little bit of blue tint to it, and that just makes these stand out a little bit. It looks pretty cool. And as well as part of the gun clip, we use the same enchanted steel to do that. And then all of the metal on his back and head, we use that same enchanted steel because it just, again, gives it, we like to have contrast. Contrast makes a big difference in your miniature, so it doesn't just look like one big blob. So you want to kind of cut out the areas with different colors. Looking good. Now I'm going to take polished silver, and that's going to be for just a little bit more of those little small details, all these little hose looking things, as well as these cylinder pistons maybe. I don't know, that's what I think they are. His little wristband. And just a few other little spots. I like it. Now, I like using this acrylic ink to undercoat for things. You can just use white too, but the ink's nice because it kind of just runs everywhere. And so we're going to fill in all of these little spots that we're going to put the prismatic color that's going to be kind of like fluorescent and bright. And putting white behind it makes it really stand out and look really good. To have that undercoat of the white. So all of these little holes throughout his down his back, and those little hoses on the front. But there's a lot of them, so I just look around. You'll find lots of little spots you can add this in until you get it everywhere. Yeah, so then we got the prismatic bolt. I love this color. It's one of my favorite, honestly. And then we just kind of let it run into all these little circles, and that gives it a nice, gives it like a glow effect when you use the white underneath and then this. And that's kind of what I'm going for here. Let's make it look very vibrant. And then same thing, all of these little tubes, they were just giving glowy. Looking good. And I actually went back and did a second coat just to be sure. Yeah, second coat generally isn't needed with speed paints, but with some of the lighter colors you may want to, and that's what I did with this one. Now let's get his teeth just with some of that white as well, because I forgot to do it while I was using the white. That's okay, go back and fix it up. So I'm taking some Zealot Yellow, and we're going to make these guns look like they're shooting. And then take some Slaughter Red and do a little bit on the inner side. Just give it that two-tone color. Now we take some Grim Black, and I wanted to put some more contrast and detail to the guns. They were looking kind of just a little too one color, a little boring. So just go around. There's a few little hoses and little prominent panels that kind of protrude, that making them black makes them look a lot better. And then this inner part looked like a good spot to add a little bit of that glow effect. So we add the white, and then we go ahead and add the prismatic bolt, and it makes them stand out a little bit more. They look really cool. And now some holy white, which isn't super white, so it actually will bring down the whiteness and brightness of his teeth. Now we gotta do some basing, so grab some basing glue, and we completely cover the top part of his base with glue. And I think all miniatures should be based. They just look so much better, in my opinion. So I always base them. This is just a bunch of sand and dirt that I actually got from the backyard, play sand, I think. And it works really well because it's pretty fine, but those little bits of rock are really helpful because they give it a lot of good contrast. So dust it off here a little bit, and then I really like Gravelord Gray. It's really good for these kind of dirt stuff. So after it's dried and all the glue is all dried up, then we go ahead and just fill this in. Very liberal with this because it seeps into all the little cracks and crevices of the dirt. And then you take some matte black to finish off the base. We do all the sides and the bottom. And now we got to protect it with some satin varnish. I really like the satin because it still gives you a little bit of sheen, but it's not just plain matte. And it really livens up the rest. And there you go. Scavorith, Lord of Ruin, complete. I love the way this model turned out. He was really fun to paint. There's a few little spots that are a little hard, but mostly just on the underside. But all in all, it was a fun miniature to paint, and he looks great. Well, thank you for watching and going through this journey painting up Scavorith. I have some other painting videos you can check out over there and over here. And do subscribe.